To Glasgow City they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How did they know? Ambitions will grow. Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes.
Well, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. John, myself, Fox Chair on the show tonight. It's Bridgeman and GFK, and we'll sing what we want, and we'll listen to what we want, and we'll think what we want. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Ox Chair. Evening, Bridgeman.
Oh, can I say a huge good evening to you two guys? Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby, to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Everybody, give us a song and give us Four Lads Had a Dream. Keep it going for the Rangers. Come on, welcome.
We're not going to mention it apart from we know what you're trying to do. Right, evening GFK, how are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic, Oxshire. It's nice to be back on. Loving the show, listening to it all week and that, different teams and that, some interesting formations and things like that.
What was your thoughts then? What was your thoughts?
Well, you know my team for last week, but I listened to Fox's team and that. I still kind of get a lot of people putting Derek Johnson and Ali McCoist up front, and it was going to be one or the other for me. And I know Brian Laudrup and Super Ali was in my front three with Super Cooper. A lot of good teams, mate. A lot of good teams were picked, and I gave my team last week, which was very interesting. Just shows you the generations, how they pick. I tried to pick mine right through for when I was going to see Rangers. And I know a lot of guys like Big Steve and I stuck to the hard and fast rule of their era, so to speak. But I kind of tried to spread mine out, which I thought was quite interesting. But it's been a good week for that, mate. And it was a good way to get a good chat going about Rangers past and present, mate.
People see the games and players slightly different, don't they? You know, but
of course,
all the team, there was a lot of similarities in most of the teams.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yep, definitely.
Bit of fun, bit of carry on, but it's all about people phoning in. Bridgeman, and how are you?
I'm magic, thanks very much, Bob. Absolutely magic, and I hope you're good. And of course, Jimmy, seriously, it's a great show. Let's get on with it. Get it done.
Right, okay. I tell you how we're going to start the show. We're going to hear I was going to say Brian Wilson there, but that's a different character altogether. We're going to hear from Stevie G, and then we'll open the phone lines. That sounds like a plan.
Oh, definitely, mate.
Good plan.
Let's hear for Stephen George Gerrard.
Morning, Stephen. Just bring us up to speed, if you can, please, with where your squad sits just now. Firstly, is Kamar back safe and sound and awake? And how is Ryan doing in terms of his recovery?
Squad update is Kemar Roof is in transit. We've had contact. We've obviously spoke to him. We're hoping to have him available tomorrow, but he'll certainly miss today's session because he's still travelling back. But we have the medical team waiting for him later on, who will look after him and assess him and make sure that he's ready for tomorrow's game. Ryan Kent is very close. We're looking to have him back with the squad sometime after the weekend in terms of training, and then we'll obviously see how he goes from there. Ryan Jack's not too far away as well. He'll be a couple of weeks back with the team, which is good news, assuming that he keeps progressing well. So yeah, we're in real good shape, and all the internationals have come back safe and well. We're just obviously waiting for Kamar to get confirmation of his availability. But last time we had contact with him, he was feeling okay.
Can you give us an insight, as supporters, really, how difficult is it, or how strange is it during an international week? Because I think we assume that it's 2 weeks off for fans, but it's not that at all for you guys, and it's clearly not that with players being away.
Look, I think it's 2 weeks off domestic football, and I think we all miss it. Certainly, I know the fans do, and we do as staff. And what we do is we follow our international players. We try and watch as many games as we can. If we can't get the games live, we try and get clips and footage to make sure we're seeing how they're playing, first and foremost. And then we obviously have a fantastic medical team and sports science team that always make contact after the game with the countries and with them personally to see and check how they're feeling, their welfare and physically. And just keep checking to see how they are, because even though they're away on international duty, there are players, they belong to us, so we have to make sure that the duty of care is there for them as well. So it is a long 2 weeks. As a manager, from my point of view, it's not really until this morning until you know exactly who's recovered from the games and how people are feeling and who's going to be available and looking to start and play 90 minutes for you in the next 24 hours, which we're all looking forward to.
7 domestic and European games in 3 weeks, and the gap between the 2 internationals. Is this early enough in the season where, okay, you've got a European squad, but are you already thinking about squad rotation in terms of injuries and suspensions, etc.? In terms of, you're facing a season which could be up to, say 70 games long.
Yeah, listen, I think that's really took care of itself in many ways, Mark, from the beginning of the season till now. I think with the isolations and some of the COVID issues and some of the injuries, I think naturally we've had to rotate anyway without a choice. In an ideal world, I'm looking for this settled team to try and get people in a rhythm, to try and get the team in a better rhythm, so we can try and find a level of consistency that'll take us to where we want to get to. But it's been a real big challenge for all of us as a staff to find that settled team, because we've had so many interruptions. I think over the course of a season, I'll naturally try and offload and change to make sure that I try and keep, all our best players as fresh and in the best form I can, because I think it's unrealistic to expect the same 11, maybe 12, 13 players to go the whole duration of every game. I don't think that's right, because at some stage during the season, at different times, they'd all flag and they'd all hit a brick wall. So that's my job, is to manage loads, is to pick and choose who's in the right moments, who needs offloading, who's played international games, and try and pick the freshest, hungriest team to get the job done on the weekend or midweek.
Hi, Stephen. During the international break there, your own name was linked with the Newcastle job. What do you make of that sort of speculation, and how do you react when your own name is kind of continuously linked with big jobs and positions down south?
I don't really react or get involved to any kind of speculation, especially when there's someone who I have the utmost respect for is sitting in that job that the speculation's about. For me, I'm in a very big job and a very big role here that I'm very much fully focused on. And we've got a top of the table clash at the weekend, and it's a game I'm very much looking forward to. But I've certainly got one eye on Newcastle in terms of seeing Brucey get his 1,000th game. Great character of the game, someone who I've got a personal relationship with and the utmost respect for, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him get his 1,000th game. I think it's a mammoth achievement, so congratulations to him at the weekend.
Stephen, just to pick up on that, do you find it, or how would you find it, how do you find it with all the speculation about Steve when he is in the job? He's a long-serving manager. Does he deserve a bit more respect? Do you feel sympathy for him? Because you're in the job now, you're trying to do what he's done in terms of games, I guess.
I think the character that Steve Bruce is, I don't think he'd want anyone to have sympathy for him or feel sorry for him. I think he's been a great character of the game. Sitting in these positions, I wouldn't like people to be speculating about my job, so I certainly won't be getting involved in any of the speculation towards his. I think it's interesting what's happening at Newcastle. I think if anyone deserves a break, it's the Geordie fans. So I'm sure the excitement levels are very high down on the Toon. And obviously everyone connected with the games looking in with interest to see how that develops. But from a personal point of view, I don't really get involved in speculation, and I wish Steve Bruce all the best.
Stephen Hearts, obviously tomorrow, they've taken the form from last season into this season and started really strongly. Do you expect a kind of similar challenge to the way Hibs came and set up at Ibrox?
Well, first and foremost, I think if you love the game and you love football like I do, I think I'm very pleased to see Hearts back in the top league, because I thought they were very unfairly treated during the COVID days, and it's great to see them back. They've started the season ever so well. Robbie's done a fantastic job. I know he's got fantastic support staff there. They've got a good team, they've got good players, and I think they've also recruited very well. And they've almost built on the confidence and the consistency of last season and brought it into the Premiership. So no surprise that they've started well. But this is a game very much for me about us, and my focus has been on us. We're on the back of a really top result just before the international break ourselves, and we're going to be looking to try and put some distance between us and Hearts come 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
Does it add a different dynamic, Stephen? The fact there's more teams perhaps at the top of the table, more teams showing consistency. Does it offer a different challenge to you and your staff?
No, I think we welcome the challenge. I think it's more exciting for the league and for Scottish football. The more teams that are fighting for the title, I think it makes it more watchable. I think it makes it more excitable for people on the outside. It's no surprise. I think every club, every manager, every set of players are all living and performing and working through a challenging time with COVID. It hasn't gone. I'm sure every manager echo my words in saying that you've got to be ready for curveballs coming at any given moment. It is different in terms of your team preparation because players can be taken away from you at any given moment, even at the last minute, with testing still going on. So it's been a challenge for everyone, and it's no surprise that the top sides in the league are all bunched pretty well up the top. But from a neutral point of view, I think that's very much exciting. From my point of view, I wish we were further out in front, of course.
Even this season, you've seen several of your players take their first steps in their international career, and obviously you had to balance that with Liverpool and England. Were you able to give them any words of wisdom?
No, I think, listen, we're very much a club that want to see our players go away and enjoy the international experience and go and do themselves and the families really proud. I think you've got to understand what you've got to do around the games. It's important that you remain professional, you're elite, you get the right rest and recovery, and you do the right things around the games, because what international football does is it can add maybe 10, 12, even more games to what's already a really busy schedule. And thankfully, we've got some top individual professionals like Stephen Davis, who are role models for the rest of the young lads who have become professionals. So the likes of Nathan Patterson and Calvin Bassey, just to watch how Stephen Davis goes about his daily work. Also the numbers he's hit from a Northern Ireland point of view, and to have the career he's had. I mean, you won't find a better role model for Nathan and Calvin to become international and top range of players for a long time, and they should be picking his brain and chatting to him at any given moment for advice moving forward, because Stephen can give them better advice than me. I haven't played international for a long time, and you forget certain things as you get older, as you know.
Was it any surprise to see Nathan play a starring role for his country and set up the winner in midweek? Did you expect him to kind of take the international football just as quickly as he has?
Certainly no surprise. I think you're talking about a kid who's really hungry. He's full of desire and commitment. I think you could see that in his performance. I watched him in the Israel game. He got off to a slow start, but I think that was down to being a little bit over-eager. I thought he settled into the game really well and got stronger and finished the game really well. Really good for me to see him playing with other top players like Andy Robinson and other international players, Billy Gilmore, these type of players that he's come through with. It was a really good game to watch. But in terms of his contribution and his outputs, there's no surprise to us because we see it on a daily basis. I mean, just before he joined up with Scotland, he put an absolute top-class delivery into the box for us to get the breakthrough or the equaliser against Hibs. And the ball for Kemar Roofe was world-class. And then he obviously got an assist in the second game for Scotland. So he's in a fantastic place, Nathan. We just need to keep him, keep his feet on the ground, keep developing him, keep learning him, keep shaping him. We need the support from the Scotland staff and that relationship as well to keep moving him forward in the right place. But there's no getting away from it. Rangers and Scotland have got a real top prospect on the hands for sure.
Well, thanks for that. You back with us, lads?
Yes.
Well, indeed.
Yeah, all right, okay. So mixed news in there with the team. Obviously, Kemar Roofe, he's on his way back. He should be back now, hopefully. That was a few hours ago now. I don't think he'll start tomorrow.
No.
TFK. No chance.
No, I can't see him starting. I think he would have started, obviously, if I get home yesterday. But I mean, that was at 11 o'clock this morning. The gaffer gave that presser, so he was still in transit, as he called it. So yeah, I would imagine that by the time he gets home and assessed, a night's rest, kick about tomorrow, he'll be on the bench tomorrow, I think, mate. Definitely on the bench.
If he makes the bench.
Aye, if he makes it home, aye. But I think he will be home now. So, aye, I think over and above, I mean, that's what he's telling us. He's already know the likes of
Just tell him.
somebody gets Superman. Is that Superman? I heard there, aye.
Carry on, Jay.
I'll give you my team for tomorrow then.
No yet, mate.
All right, okay then.
With the suspense.
Keep you in suspenders. I think generally what it tells us are the players that have all come back for their world travels, which all the global players have been. So that's good. You know, we have got a couple of homegrown players that are injured, which shall come back. Obviously, Ryan Kent, Ryan Jack. It'd be great to see Ryan Jack back in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully. Ryan Kent, hopefully, by next week.
I don't think we'll see them maybe after the next international break. There you go. That's what I'm thinking, mate. I know that Ryan Kent might be training, but
yeah, might be right. Because the next international break's quite short away, isn't it? It's
3 weeks.
3 weeks away, aye. 12th, isn't it? 12th or 13th. Yeah. And he had a lot of nice words to say about Sir Stephen, you know, the most capped player in British football. The other night there.
You would be tapping into him, wouldn't you?
Of course you would.
Bridgeman, Ryan, the two Ryans. Hopefully it's good news, but I just think no rush. Let's get them, make sure they're fit.
Well, I think, yeah, absolutely. I would think that Ryan Kent might be there a wee bit quicker than Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack might need that month or so after Ryan Kent makes it. But it'd be great to get them back on the training field. It'd be fantastic. And what a boost for everyone.
Aye.
They're back. You know, great stuff. Well said to the manager. Covered all these questions very, very well. What a manager we've got. Different class.
Here. Very complimentary about Steve Bruce. 1,000 games realises how difficult it is to manage now.
I mean, listen to him speak here. Very eloquent in what he was saying, you know, about Steve Bruce. And look, we all knew that what we call decent jobs come up down south, that our gaffer's going to get mentioned in them. And that's a compliment to us and what Stephen Gerrard's done, Oxshire. And that will continue as the season upon season comes upon us, you know. So we just take that in our stride, and the gaffer said that today. What respect he showed to Steve Bruce. He'd rather talk about his 1,000th game than talk about him getting the bullet, you know.
I'm hearing, I'm not one for spreading rumours, as you two gentlemen well know, but I'm hearing there's an Australian, and you know, the greatest manager the world's ever known. They're thinking about coming in for a bid for him. That's what I'm hearing, but you never know.
Who's they?
I don't know, mate. All right.
Brilliant.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, okay, aye. Good news. Doesn't look as if anybody's picked up any knocks. We've been away. Big advantage to Hearts this GFK before we get your team in, then Bridgeman. Obviously, that's 2 weeks they've been able to work on again. You know, pretty much. Look at and we can't start to basically the day before.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I would say that watching Hearts, I would say Hearts have hit their peak, mate. I think Hearts are playing at the moment the best that they can play, and they've not seen the best of Rangers yet. I think we're still in second gear, slipping in and out of thirds, but I think Hearts are. I'm not saying, we'll give our predictions later on. I'm not going to say we'll slaughter Hearts, but I think they've hit their peak. I think they're a good team, don't get me wrong. I think they're a good team, but I still think that Rangers are nowhere near the best that we know we can be. So that'll be interesting tomorrow. Yep, there'll be a lot of players coming from especially far afield, you know, from different parts of the world, not just Europe, Asia and things like that, you know. So, aye, we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. But I think the gaffer will pick the team that's appropriate for the day, because we can't rest on our laurels here. It's a 3-pointer, definitely. We need to win this. It's a top of the table clash. I kind of remember the last time the Rangers were involved in a mid-table clash, but here we go. There is some others that are in that.
Aye, yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, but he's right.
There was one last week, wasn't there? There was that one last week.
Right.
That was a big game. And that, to be fair, that was to get into the top 6. That one, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Aye, brilliant. Makes him ladders.
There's a lot of good things there. We know, as you said, gear 2.5, gear 3. We're not even got to 4 and 5 yet.
Nah.
You know, and if we just got one, we will go away for these teams, mate. And hopefully it starts tomorrow. It's about 3 points tomorrow, Bridge.
Yeah. Biggest game of our season. Seriously, biggest game of our season. Without a shadow of a doubt. And if we can get the 3 points tomorrow, we will all be very, very, very happy bears. Very happy bears. And if we put in a really good performance and then score a few goals, keep a clean sheet, it's even better. But I'd just like to be very, very happy, and all the bears be happy as well. That's what it's about.
Aye, you're right. That's about 3 points tomorrow. And what is the team that's going to get us these 3 points? JFK.
Well, I didn't know about Kamal Roof until the gaffer spoke, so I had to change it. So I'm going. My lineup tomorrow would be McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, because I know he got that wee injury. Barisic, Kamara, Aribo, Davis, Hadji, Morelos, and Wright. I put Wright in there because I thought I was going to put Roof in there, but obviously Roof's, I don't think he'll start, but I think he will play some part of the game.
Okay. All right. Can we that again, mate? Just so I take a note of it.
McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic. In the middle, Kamara, Aribo, Davis. Up front, Hadji, Morelos, and Wright.
Okay. What's your thinking with Lundstrom then? You know, I think of Stephen Davis, but Lundstrom's arguably my best player the last 3 games.
Yeah, but the two of them can't play in the same team, mate. I just don't think they can. I just. Aye. Look, Sir Stephen, I'm not into this. You know, he's 35, 36, and
he looked 12 in the.
Aye, of course he did, mate. And his experience tells in these games. You know, let's see what happens further on in the game. But we all know that the gaffer throws in some curveballs. But I'd love to see Stephen Davis start the game against the Hearts because, although I say that I think they're playing at their peak, they'll give us a lot of problems tomorrow, you know. So yeah, I'd still play Stephen Davis over Lundstrom, but I rate Lundstrom coming into some decent form now. But we'll
talking
see.
About people who are always in form, we've been joined by Big Al.
What a global.
Sealed with a kiss. Thanks very much for that, gentlemen.
How you doing, big man?
I'm more like that boy Jason out of the Halloween than Jason out of Neighbours. You gave that lassie that was wrong, by the way, boys. That was wrong. You've heard of the Me Too movement, eh?
Yes, and that was right because it was her turn and it was her too. Yeah,
that was her turn, aye.
Everybody
definitely
gets it on here.
Well, that was brilliant, man. I was sitting at my desk and I heard you on in the background and I was laughing at myself. I felt like phoning in, but I thought I would have spoiled it. If you're listening, Linda, I'm on your side. On your side. Yeah. Well, should I say Kylie? No, Linda. Yeah, it's Kylie, man.
We couldn't help it, mate. As soon as it started,
that's good. Good show. You know, excellent.
It was funny.
I've just no long woke up and I'm just potting about looking at a few things online. What's the Beach Boys? What's this?
Well, somebody's offended by a tune now. I'll basically.
I know.
To be offended, yeah. You know, so.
But how does that relate to the Beach Boys? I'm missing something, obviously.
How do I put this?
It's a Beach Boys song.
They don't like a tune, mate. They don't like a tune, mate. Yeah.
Oh, right. So that was the Beach Boys that came up with that arrangement of that tune?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, right. It all makes sense now. That's cleared that up. Right. Thanks very much, boys. Don't be strangers. See you later. No.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's modern Scotland, mate. It's just everybody's offended, you know.
Aye.
There's
one of the
kids
things.
dying because there's dying of malnutrition. There's rats running about the whole.
The rats in the street, I
Glasgow,
was
yeah,
just thinking that. Aye.
and they're worried about a tune, you know.
Yeah.
Ah well, but don't get me started. I'll rank.
No, aye. No, back to the good old Rangers. Definitely.
Yeah, you look forward to the game tomorrow.
Oh, definitely. Aye, it's one of the good days for me. I get to speak to you just now, pre-game, after. So, like, in the next 24 hours, get to talk to you guys 3 times, and I watch the ball game. Can't get any better than that.
And
the kids are actually going for a sleepover to their auntie. So there you go, man.
Happy days.
Happy days. I might even get my Nat King Cole.
No, Big Al. No, it's a family show.
Nah, I know. I don't think I will, but you can always hope. I'll take 1-0 then.
Aye, 1-0 will do you. And tomorrow's a first, Al. You might not be aware of it. Rangers have been allowed to show the game live tomorrow at 3 o'clock in Scotland. Is that the start? Is that the start? The game's been shown. Every game been shown live.
Is that so? Rangers can show the game live.
And all the UK apart from England, obviously, and Scotland, yeah, Northern Ireland, yeah, no in England.
That won't affect the attendance or anything, will it?
I wouldn't.
It'll give bears that kind of get to the game a good chance. You know what I mean? Just to be listening to bits and bobs on the radio, things like that. So that's a positive. Like, I like that new strip as well. The new white strip that's came out. It looks quite nice actually.
I think
better than the black one and the purple. You got it, Jimmy? Jimmy's.
They've not got the small mediums on the in yet, but they're on their way. Jimmy.
No, I won't be buying one because I don't buy the strips now because it's not my thing now. But my 2 boys have bought them.
It's nice.
I just wish that they'd brought them out at the start of the season because instead of maybe made the pinkies one a 4th strip and brought out the white one as a 3rd strip, an away strip. But I do like it. I like the idea of it. A lot of people are saying they should have had the star badge on it, but maybe the RFC in the middle of the star. But hey ho, it's a nice strip, definitely is.
I think there's some design that you don't see unless you look at it up close, GFK. Yeah?
But the badge.
There's bits on it you didn't see initially, you know.
Aye. There's a lot of things. Aye. So it's nice. It's a nice shirt, a nice strip. I like it all white, definitely. I'm a bit mystified about the colour of the badge, and I would like to have seen that being royal blue. But I don't know why they've done it that kind of baby blue, sky blue colour. But
I think that was the original blue with the star.
It was, but I think.
I hope you look at it. I've got that tattooed in my arm, so I hope it's that baby blue.
Jeez,
I say it's tattooed on my baby's arm. I wondered what you were
my baby's arm. My wife when they get a tattoo. See what I done there, my baby.
I see what you done there. Quite good. But. Listen, let's be honest about it. The market is not going to be the majority of us on here. It's what the youth and the youngsters think here, in it. That's, I believe, at 10,000 were sold today or yesterday. Sorry.
There you go. That's a good.
That's nearly $1 million.
10,000.
That's nearly £1 million. Nearly £1 million.
How much of that are we getting for?
Don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll find out when the accounts come in.
250 grand, 300 grand at least after that, wouldn't you?
There'll be the upfront payment and then there'll be the sales, GFK, yeah? There'll be 2 sides.
Obviously, I would obviously think the Rangers will get the lion's share of that, whatever that may be. Obviously, Castor and then whatever the manufacturers and things like that, wherever they're getting made. Well, we don't know that, if it's going to be. We'll not get into that. I just hope. My boys ordered them online. They didn't want to get it at the shop now. Again, disappointed you don't get it, because my 2 boys are large boys.
You're being polite there, Jimmy.
Yeah, well,
they're very tall. That's
very tall. But
they're in proportion, Jimmy.
I'm not in proportion to me, mate. My milkman.
No, I wasn't
Aye.
lying, but I think if they stretched you a wee bit, they'd be in proportion to you. But
Listen, there is
nice
two
big
points, but
gentleman.
with loads of Stuart's inquiry. When you're the
Aye.
same size as your old man when you start primary school, everybody wonders.
Exactly.
They've got a good old
I
man
just
there.
hope that we don't start seeing the same things that's happened with some of the previous strips. That, you know, and what I'll say to anybody that's listening, if you get a strip and it starts to peel or whatever, just
Return
take
it.
it. Just take it back. Stop putting it on Facebook and Twitter and all that and complaining about it. You don't do that if you get a pair of ripped trousers, do you? Put it on Facebook. You
Well,
take it
some-
back to the shop. Just
some
take
people-
it back.
Some people like the modern society, JFK, you know what they're like.
Oh, it's murder, mate. I'd mince and tatties for a dinner tonight, you know, this rubbish, and some of the... Anyway, I like the strip. I like the idea that the what do you call it, the buttons down the right-hand side. I like that idea. Get back to the traditional strip. So, yeah, I like it. Do like it. I just wish it was my third strip and not the pinky one.
Will they be wearing it tomorrow, gentlemen?
Potentially, mate.
I
Potentially.
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
If you've launched a strip, you would think it would make
Did
sense.
you have that strip when you were a kid, Bridge?
No, I like the Royal Blue, mate. Royal Blue.
Royal Blue. Did you see the Republic of Ireland Royal Blue strip?
Aye, I can understand that. I think you could have just done with
That's
a
it,
different
perfect
colour of
blue.
badge, and it might have been
That's what I was thinking, aye.
It might have been pretty popular. I don't know where that was. Did somebody do with a centenary? But there you go. I don't know not a lot about that. But aye, listen, look, hopefully it's a success. Like all the strips are success. Some people like the white one. Some people like the purple one. Some people like the black one. It's all individual choice, and we've got a lot of the bases covered. But ultimately, the most popular strip will always be Bridgeman.
The blue, the Royal Blue.
Big Al.
Yes.
You getting your dog the Rangers coats?
I've seen that, aye, but they've not got XL. Or maybe, is it XL or large, I think they had, eh? I've seen
Aye.
that, $48 it is here. I
Aye.
might get that, actually, aye. It'll go nice when I'm taking them a walk around the park.
I've got
He'll
my
be
wee
sweating his hee-haws off right enough. There'll be summertime in the
Aye,
time
aye.
I get it delivered.
I'll get my wee blue one, so he'll have his in the winter.
Aye,
Looks
aye.
smash.
They
You
look
mean,
quite nice.
you
That
mean
was the
next
first
week,
thing-
JFK?
Aye, the heating's on the new, mate.
That
Right.
was
Very
the
cold
first,
here today.
first thing that popped up, aye.
So everything's looking good that way, isn't it? You know, it's a nice strip. Things are it's
So,
10,000.
that Castor, there's a few NRL teams or rugby league teams here. The Sydney Roosters wear that Castor, and the Melbourne Storm with that Castor. They're two of your Premier Elite clubs here in Australia. I've noticed that, and I've noticed a few guys on the trains and different things like that with the Castor bag. So it seems to be a brand that's expanding.
Fully international now, isn't it? Fully international.
I mean, obviously in the UK they've got Wolves, they've got us, they've got Newcastle now, they'll get some publicity through that. They've also got, I think, Josh Butler,
West Indies, eh?
West Indies cricketer team. Josh Butler, who's a big star in the IPL and Borough cricket. Adam Peaty, the swimmer.
Yep.
Yeah, you know.
Murray, is Andy Murray still one of their
I
ambassadors?
think he's heavily involved in them and still wears the gear.
I think he's one of the major shareholders in it.
I don't know if he's major, but I think he's involved. Yeah.
Aye, because he's got his own brand in AMC.
Aye.
Andy
Murray
Murray.
Aye. But look, listen, they came. We struck a deal with them. I think it's been successful for both parties. Yeah, there's been problems. I think you'll always have problems with the volume of strips we turn out. Individual problems, you just get it sorted and you move on, as you say, JFK. But
what is the deal?
Problems are behind us. The devil's in the detail, mate. We'll know.
No, I'm talking in regards to the timeline.
5 year it was. It was a 5 year deal.
It's a 5 year, right?
Aye. A 5 year deal at the time, yeah. And obviously they've been involved in the new fitted the shop, Ibrox. It's like a store shop there when you're buying your stuff there, and I think they'll be involved in maybe the Edmondson House, and we'll see where it goes. Whether we'll extend it or no, it's up to the powers that be at the club. But at the moment, I don't. I don't see it's been relatively successful for both parties. JFK.
Oh, definitely, mate. I know there's been a lot of teething problems in the last couple of seasons with merchandise that wasn't up to the standard that people thought it should be, and that. But that's the teething problems. What I do hope going forward is that the shops get more stock in them, because a couple of times I've been here, the stock's not been what I think it should have been. But I have had good reports with people who were there the last few days that the stock's starting to rise significantly. So hopefully Rangers will get this together for Christmas, because I mean, they're bringing out baby strips now and baby grows and all that type of thing, pajamas and slippers and all that for Christmas. So that's the way it should be, because that's the way Rangers ran it in the past, So that should be good going forward. But
you've got to make money off the stuff.
Aye, of course.
I mean, the stuff that we get's got to sell. Yeah.
You need quality there as well. You can't just have that.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you think back, there was times when there was good stuff in, but there was a lot of, as Al says, there was a lot of stuff that it wouldn't sell regular. So you've got to get that right. Know your market.
One of the things I like the fact that you can buy the strips and you can buy the training gear, but then when you click on that leisure wear stuff, it's just a generic brand whoever makes it with 1872 t-shirts or whatever. Like some of that stuff, I mean, you never see MD wear it. I don't know where it goes to when the season's over. Where I'd just like to see stuff. Plain and simple, good quality t-shirt, maybe a 3-pack, red, white and blue 3-pack, like you get out of Next, just with the Rangers badge on it. You know what I mean? Something that's essentials. Some of the jumpers and some of the t-shirts, I don't know who would buy them.
We must be honest and say that the thing that I'm really pleased about is the actual contract. To our knowledge, we've got a really good contract with Castor, which will tell you it's probably 20 times better than any of the contracts we had before. And the way we were treated by some of them was just a shambolic. So we're now into new territory and it's doing very, very well, I hope. And we'll see when the books come out, see what it's like.
We're on Old School Blue, buys all that stuff and wears it as his overalls for what? So somebody
Sorry, Old School Blue. No, but I remember when I was in New Zealand, my mum sent me some t-shirts and I had the Rangers badge offset on the shoulder, which it was just a nice t-shirt. It wasn't. It was just a cotton t-shirt. But I'm just thinking.
Al, what about the blackout polo shirt and t-shirt? Do you see them?
Aye, they look alright, but it's not a thing I'd wear myself. But no,
is that because it's got Castoro in it?
Aye.
See, I don't. I'm a bit a traditionalist. I've not bought a tap for a long time because I don't like the advertisement in the front of it.
Aye, I'm the same, Jimmy. I don't like that because I used to like being able to go to the shop and buy a.
Well, that's what I do. But I mean, the blackout one, I'd buy that because I know it's got Castoro on it, but it doesn't have 32 red or anything like that on it. So I'd pay 50 quid for that. But what you're saying there is bang on because.
But your top it's 36 double D, no 32 red.
Well, I've just blooming looked there and they do up to 5XL.
36 double D.
I don't start. But they do have 5XL in it. And it's a nice shirt, but you're right what you say, Al. I mean, I don't see it like that on the market now that you could just go in and buy a shirt and then an embroidered Rangers badge on it.
If you strike a contract with a firm and they're going to give you millions of pounds, they'll not want you to put something out that everybody's going to buy and not buy their stuff.
No. Along with that, they should maybe put something.
But if you put too much of that out along with it and you market that, the people that's giving you millions and millions of quids will go, I think we'll not do that again. Bridgeman.
Yeah, I agree with you upstairs. I think obviously we've got to watch what we're doing and how we're treating people. And it's quite right. Sooner or later, if you're not doing it right, then people are going to turn and say, "I'm not bothered about that anymore." That's it. That breaks the contract. and the contact, should I say, the friendly contact. I'd hate to think, I remember there were some major demonstrations outside the shop at Ibrox, and you know, dear, of course it was against Mike Ashley and company, you know. I don't want ever go near anything like that again. We don't want to be in that kind of situation. Looks, as I said a minute ago, looks like we've got quite a good contract, and the quality is quite good. There was initially a couple of things I saw in Follow where people were saying, just like you said there, Oxford, people were complaining about the quality.
Aye, but it wasn't. I mean, there's loads of stuff in this household, and we've not an issue. Yeah, I've talked to Southside and Big Stevie. They've bought loads and loads and loads of the gear.
Ale and Pace.
Aye, and the Mitchell sisters.
What was you calling them? The Kemp brothers?
No, the Mitchell sisters.
The Mitchell sisters,
aye. They've bought for their family and themselves. I mean, I wouldn't like to guess how much money the two of them have spent. And I spoke to them, they've no the problem. But other people have individual problems, and we get that happens. So,
but that's a wee question, guys, right? I mean, I know obviously Bridgeman still get Rangers shirts that you tie good in the collar and all that. There's no buttons on them. It's a lace. I probably would, and I'm going to ask you, would you buy the new Rangers tops, the team tops, if they didn't have an advert on the front?
Wouldn't it make any difference to me, Jimmy?
No, but what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the new. Right, I'm talking about, I mean, this is something I've done. I can't remember the last time I wore a Rangers top with an advert on it. It's something I've always been against. I don't see why I should pay premium price for a shirt and then walk about with advertising somebody's gear. That's no. I don't mind advertising the company that make it, whether it be Castore, Adidas, Diadora, Nike, or anything like that. But I would have probably bought more Rangers shirts if they didn't. If I was allowed to have the.
Would you pay 3 times as much for it?
Would you mind paying 3 times as much?
Well, how much money do you think they get off the sponsor for the advertisement, and the main sponsor goes on the shirt?
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that you're becoming a walking advertisement.
Mm-hmm. But you are when you take a plastic bag out of Sainsbury's or Tesco's, aren't you?
Well, I'll buy a bag for life and not any markings on it. But what I'm saying is, I would have probably bought more Rangers tops if it didn't have.
I just take the trolley with me right to the back of the truck and lift the trolley in the back of the truck and drive away.
That's the way to go, and then bring it back.
Basket.
Do you see where I'm coming for there, Al?
Aye, I can see where you're coming from, Jimmy, but I think certain people don't buy strips anyway, and to me, sometimes...
We're not the market.
No, we're not the market.
We're not the market. But I think, like, this year's strip, you've got so many different sponsors on it. I think it could have been done a wee bit more, because the Tom Kits thing's a different colour for the Unibet on the front, and just... But you do see a lot of strips, European football, the NRL here, they're covered in sponsorships.
Aye.
But they're all kind of colour coded to the, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it could be done a wee bit better. Like it's not a thing. Look, I've never worn a football top for, I don't know, 20, 30 years. It's not a thing I wear. It wasn't a thing I wore going to the games. I like just put my scarf on. That was just me. But it's not our market. I don't think. Like it's no market. But I don't mind some of the.
What do you think? If we're being honest, what's the market? Maybe the majority of them with strips will be called with kids from maybe 7 to 17. Will they buy the majority of them?
No, some of the pictures I've seen. No.
The kids that are still into kind of sport, they're still able to function. Maybe wear it to the 5-a-sides or whatever, like, you know.
Or should I say the parent? But is it parents that will buy it for or grandparents for the kids and the grandkids?
Grandparents and parents, aye. Because you get your new Rangers strip at Christmas. It was just part of your Christmas. You know what I mean?
Aye. I understand what GFK's saying, but if then all of a sudden you'd have to find that money for somewhere else, and they'd basically put it on the price of the strip. I mean, there wasn't a great clamour to get the retro. Some people bought it, but the retro one wasn't a going success, and I don't think there was any sponsor on that last season, was there?
Oh, I bought that one. I bought the retro shirt. I thought the retro shirt was a cracking shirt. You know,
there's no sponsor on this white one either, is there?
No, I don't believe there is.
No.
Actually, see, if we were financially stable as a club, I would like Rangers to make a donation at the beginning of the season, a £2 or £3 million donation to Save the Children or whatever, like your Barcelona's, and don't have a sponsorship, but make that the sponsorship. Flip it on its head, Mr. Bisgrove, if you're listening. Flip it on its head, and we sponsor somebody else, and our name's attached to that. And we don't need to have a sponsorship on our top. But I do think Jimmy's got a point. I do think if there was no sponsorship on it, I think you might see a bit more of an uptake. So it might be enough to recoup some monies.
I think if there should be an option there, if you want. Remember they done it, they did for kids, and they done it for other.
Kids have got a different sponsor on them now, mate, haven't they?
Aye, but for
other denominations, who
didn't want to have alcohol or anything like that, advertise their tobacco and whatever on their shirt. I think there should have been an option for that.
I don't think you'll need to worry. I don't think you'll need to worry.
It's changing, eh?
You'll not have allowed. You won't allowed fags, then you won't allowed booze, and then the next thing's going to be betting companies. So you might get your wish as things develop.
I don't want Rangers to lose money. I just think guys a bit maybe. I mean, the black one, I will definitely buy the black one if I can get it in Yara shipbuilder size.
Because that makes you look slimmer, doesn't it? Black makes you look slimmer.
I'll take a lot of black to make me look slimmer, mate. I've got to be honest about that.
We need to tape him up with gaffer tape to make it look slimmer.
It's funny you say that. I worked with a big guy, Gav, and he's always had a black t-shirt on. And the other day there, he came in with an army green t-shirt, and I went, "You're some size, big man." He says, "What are you talking?" I says, "You need to go back to black." I says, "Because you could just see a couple of rolls there on about his muffin top." He's like, "You're cheeky." I says, "Well, you need to put black." The next again day, sure enough, he came in with a black t-shirt on, man. He did look a lot slimmer, though.
I think we've been joined by Jordan. Evening, Jordan.
Right, panel, how you doing?
All right, mate. What's on your mind, mate?
Just having a laugh at the utter meltdown that is the Scottish media, basically. It's just absolutely brilliant. I'm loving every minute of it. I really am.
You've been laughing for a while then, Jordan, eh?
Oh, no, I think the day that I've read about this is just it's bad, you know what I mean? I just think in the future there's nothing you can do at football games now. You can't cough or sneeze because it'll be considered sectarianism. That's what it's becoming now, I think. Maybe I'm just going daft.
No, you're not going daft, Jordan, but we've had a wee bit at the start of the show, and I'm sure there'll be a prize if you can guess the tune at 9 o'clock. But we don't want to give the failed trialist and his like any oxygen, mate, if we're being honest. Yeah. We know what they're up to. We know what they're trying to do. It's hysterical, yeah. I'll say it again. There's kids dying in Scotland with malnutrition. There's rats running about our biggest city all over the place. We can't get our rubbish picked off the streets all over the country. And they're worrying about a tune.
Right, fair. I was there till 150 years ago. Sad days, boys. I'll tell you that. Sad days.
Obviously, it's a Beach Boys tune, mate. They're not that
Beach
old.
Boys tune.
They're not that old. Bridge was into them when he was a boy.
It's just pathetic.
They're rent offended, mate. Rent to be offended, yeah. And we know what they're doing. It's so transparent. It's comical, as you said, mate. But we don't want to give the failed trialist and his like oxygen.
Exactly. Correct.
But it is comical.
Anyway, was the overall reason I called tonight. It was just to kind of look forward to the game tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it, boys. It's going to be a good game, I think. Hearts will be up for it, and it's a good game. But I think we're going to nurse 2-0 victorious tomorrow. I'm going to say quite confident tomorrow.
That'll do me, GFK.
Aye, how you doing, Jordan? I'm all right, pal. I'm going for 2-0 as well. You know, as I said before, I think Hearts are playing at the peak that they're at. I don't think they'll get any better than that. we're still at that 2.5 to 3 gear. We can move up a couple of gears, and I think, as I say, I'm not going to say we'll destroy them. I think we'll win a nice 2-0 comfortably. A double for my good friend Alfredo.
Man.
Yeah.
What's your thinking? Obviously, we know the two Ryans are fit. We don't think Kemar Roof will make the starting 11. Jordan, what's your team, mate?
Okay. Have there any other injuries or any other suspension?
Nothing, mate. Nothing. That's it.
No.
That's it.
I'm trying to think. Well, whether Roof comes back or not for the game tomorrow, it wouldn't be a big blow because obviously we've still got options. So McGregor, McGregor, Patterson, Goldson, Balogun, Massey. In the midfield, probably have Aribo, Davis, Kamara, or maybe Wright or somebody like that, and maybe Hadji and Morelos up front.
Okay, mate. You're going for Bassey and Patterson playing tomorrow, yeah?
Aye, I'm.
You want a Mars bar on that, mate?
I'll take one anyway. No, I just think Patterson's been, exquisite coming for the Scotland team, and then obviously, I just don't know. I just think he's a wee bit more lively than what Tab's been recently. So I'd give him that chance tomorrow, and I like Big Shirley. He's been brilliant. I can't fault him, and I don't know, Barisic has been kind of a wee bit off recently. So I think full throttle tomorrow. Patterson and Bassey for me, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Can you remind me, and I don't want to, can you remind me who put the cross in for Alfredo's winner at the last game?
I'll take a Batavia, won't it?
No, try the other fullback.
Barisic.
Aye.
I forgot I was actually at the game as well. I wasn't paying attention then because there was somebody standing up, right?
If you think that's the way it's going to go, you're not alone in that thinking. Bridgeman.
Aye.
JFK.
Aye, I mean,
sorry.
On you go, Bridgeman.
Oh, carry on, JFK.
Jordan, I can see what Jordan's thinking there. I mean, for me, Bassey is a good fill-in player for me. Patterson, I know he came on the last 10 minutes for the Tartan Trannies and put out a great cross for the goal, but I don't think he'll play him tomorrow against Hearts. I think he's got to go with the tried and tested, and I think that'll be the team that I picked earlier on. I think is probably more near the team. I would like to have seen Roof play for the start, but we all know that's not probably going to happen because he's still he's obviously be back here now. But the team I picked, Jordan, was McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic, Kamara, Aribo, Davis, Hadji, Morelos, and Wright. So, but then again, we could all wake up tomorrow, see the team, and it could be your team, Jordan, because we know the gaffer throws some curveballs at us all the time.
Big Al, where do you sit in the John Lundstrom situation? Obviously, he's arguably been my best player the last 3 league games. Yeah,
I'm slightly confused with Jimmy's pick. I think Stephen Davis, by all accounts, he wasn't the best player in the park for his national team. He's not been the best player for us. I think Lundstrom has to start. I'm going to go with Kylie during the week. I think Kylie got it right. I think we have to be on the front foot here. So I would take Lundstrom, Bakuna in the middle of that part with Kamara.
Right, okay.
My team would be McGregor, Patterson, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic, Lundstrom, Bakuna, Kamara, Wright, Alfie, and who else is Sakala fit?
Sakala's fit, aye. Hadji's fit.
There you go, Sakala.
Mm-hmm.
Some goalie scored during the week.
Aye, well, there you go. Sorry. Hadji will be on there. As you know myself, I'm not really into too much formation. I just want my best players in the park, make them feel happy, tell them to go out and do their thing. And I think we have to be on the front foot now. I think we have to try and I'm not saying up our game, but we'll have to be seen to be moving forward. So I think the best thing for us moving forward is Lundstrom, Bacuna. Look, with the Stephen Davis situation, if we're up 3-0, Stephen Davis by all means can come on, but I just think he's too deep lying, and I think we've got to be on the front foot. The Lundstrom, Bacuna, Kamara thing, I think will work in the middle of the park, because I think they're further up the park. We defend for the front.
All right, I mean...
does any of that make sense?
It does, but I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here, because I do think that Lundstrom's been one of my better players the last few weeks. But I'm a big fan of Stephen Davis, JFG.
I know.
Definitely. I mean, Al's team's a good team. I can see where he's coming from, you know. But, I mean, I'd like to see Lundstrom and Davis playing the same team, but they can't. I just don't think they complement each other. And I know that Lundstrom's been one of our best players in the last 2 or 3 games. But for experience, and I know people say about Lundstrom's got experience as well, but for experience, for me, it's got to be the captain, or Sir Stevens, we'll call him. And that's who I would play. But, I mean, Al could be right. I certainly wouldn't give Sakala a game. I know he scored a good goal in midweek, but I wouldn't give him a game.
Jimmy.
Yes, pal.
But you're saying experience, and we all know that Stephen Davis has got experience. But if he's short in the legs department, it doesn't matter how much experience you've got. He's going to get caught out. And do you not think he lies too deep?
I do think at times he does lie too deep, mate. I agree with you there. But I still think...
Do you think that's to Davies' age?
Of course it is.
So he's not coming up there.
No, I think that's maybe play.
I think he's reading...
I'd like to see
there you go, Bridge.
Sorry, Jimmy. I'd like to see Lundstrom and Davis playing the same team. I don't think it'd be a problem. I don't see it as a problem.
So where do you play Lundstrom on the right?
Yes. Davis in the centre. You know everyone's going to have with it. We can all see it probably. Hearts are going to flood the midfield. They're going to play 3-5-2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just flood the midfield. And the more people we've got in there with a bit of strength and nous, the better. I think it can make life easier for us. I like the two of them on the park. I bet it was only for maybe 10-15 minutes, the last game against Hibs, but I thought it was very good. And I like the way they got on with each other. I loved it.
All right. Okay. See, you've started, Jordan, but you hang on. We're going to have a tune, and we'll be right back to Jordan. Get on mute, lads, and take it away. Old school boy.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. To start a football team, they had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 55 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags. With your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For I had a dream to start. They have no money, no care, not even a ball. They still carry on. The Rangers are gone. 55 titles, we're still going strong. still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 55 titles, we're still going strong. 55 titles, we're still going strong.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Go back, gentlemen.
55 titles and still going strong. Absolutely.
Maybe that's what's upset him. Don't know. Right, so you're going for a nice wee 2-0 win tomorrow, Jordan. Who's getting the goals for you?
I try to think at the box and try to think what an obscure scorer, but I'm going to say Alfie's going to get 2 goals tomorrow.
Yeah, me too, mate.
Aye, okay, that'll do me. I'm happy with that. I like my centre forwards to score GFK. Please, confidence.
Aye, I think I'm not saying Alfie is low in confidence now, but he needs a couple of goals to get him going again. You know, I know he's been playing well in patches, the same as most of the team. You know, but I can't see as this season. I think everybody will agree. We've not played what we would say a great 90 minutes. Every game's been either a good first half and bad second half, but it's mostly been a good second half a lot of the time for 20 minutes. So, we'd love to see Alfie score a couple of more and get him back into the goal scene again and maybe bang a few more and become our top scorer for the season. But Kemar Roof's pushing him for a place here all the time, and he's doing well. I think he'd have played up front with Alfie tomorrow if hadn't been away with international duty. And he scored a decent goal as well for Jamaica. So all our players that were away in international duty have all done well. So hopefully they'll all come back with good confidence and bring that onto the park for us at Ibrox tomorrow.
Aye, well, I mean, Morelos is not just about scoring goals now, Bridgeman. He's made a rounded player, but you're number 9. You're judged on your goals.
Yeah, I said this the other night. I think I would love to see if Roof is available. I'd love to see Roof and Alfie up front together and stay in the box as much as possible. Don't wander out. Just stay in there. Make yourself a target for decent passes, because invariably at the moment, anyway, we've been playing, Alfredo comes out and he picks the ball up and does some lovely stuff. Great passes, good crosses across the fullback. But the truth is, that's not really his job. But he's such a good player to us, and he really does. Very few times he loses in a tackle when he's got the ball. So I think he does well holding the ball up and bringing people into the game and creating moves. But the problem is, when the time they got the ball into the box, I'm afraid Alfie's not there. And maybe some other player will score, of course, but I'd love to see Alfie score, and I like him in there scoring.
Roof's record, his goal scoring record's pretty good. When he plays, usually he scores, but sometimes when he doesn't score, he's not heavily involved in the game. Big Al?
Yeah, you could be right there. I've not looked into it or analysed it like that. I like Roof. I think he gives you a different type of threat when he's on the park. And he is pretty clinical in front of goal. So.
He's a bit cuter than Alfie, if you know what I mean, yeah?
Oh, definitely, aye. They're two different players, but I'd like to see the two of them score more goals, or even if Alfie just gets up to the goal scoring exploits Roof, that would be better. That would be even better for Alfie. I think tomorrow we're going to see Lundstrom and Alfie, 2-0 to Rangers. Lundstrom with the first, Alfie with the second.
No, I'll take that all day long.
Definitely.
Lundstrom all day long. The bookmakers have got the bet in that. Let me just see. Obviously, we're strong favourites. The betting is, if it comes up in front of me, Rangers are 11-20, 31-10 the draw, and 5-1 the Jam Tuts. So we're strong.
Lundstrom to score.
I'll see what I can. I'll get that up for you. Let me just see. Show more. John Lundstrom, 15-2 first, and anytime 12-5. No great bets, mate, if I'm honest. Yeah.
I think he to me he needs to be a player, midfield player. One goal in every 3 games. I think that's a kind of that's what I'd be expecting from him, especially in Scottish football.
Don't laugh, but Brandon Barker's 91. He scored the first goal.
What's Jordan Dab?
What's that, mate?
How can he go in the park?
I don't know, mate. Well, don't shoot the messenger, please. Did you see Tav there, Jordan? Jordan?
Tav, what's Tav it?
5-1, mate. He scored first, yeah.
Aye,
5-1. He scored anytime 64.
Could be better than that, I think.
What am I to score before Barker?
You're the same price as Brandon Barker, mate.
Brandon Barker.
Oh dear.
What about that position? And you've raised Tav's name there, so
let's look at Ryan Christie. That's for sure.
What was that? I'm there.
Well, is it
no, I'm just
because we've raised the name?
I'm just saying if it was to start, if it was.
I think.
Do you think he'll start, or do you think
he'll start? I think he'll start. Tav, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fox is very seldom wrong. He's biased. He thinks Tav will start, and you'll not get a great price in Tav because they'll still have him down to take some of the they might think he'll take the penalties. So if he does, that's how you don't get a price on him. Which is, yeah.
What if Patterson does start?
Mm-hmm.
What would that say? What kind of message would that send out?
I would say that he's the guy now in possession. That's what I would say, GFK. I
don't think he'll start. I think it's Tav will start. But if you're right, if he did start, then that's Big Al's right. That would say yourselves in possession. But also another thing, I was talking to my boy today, and I picked McGregor in goals, but is there a possibility we'd go with McLaughlin tomorrow again? No, is that a possibility?
His record is unbelievable. John McLaughlin is unbelievable.
Because he's kind of chopped and changed the goalkeepers. I know he's done it with Tav and Big Patterson a couple of games, but he's done it more with Alan McGregor and John McLaughlin. So I wouldn't be surprised. That might be the curveball he throws in there. Patterson and McLaughlin and maybe even Lundstrom, as Big Al was saying. Obviously we'll not know at 2 o'clock in the morning when the team comes out, but he's got a lot of good options there.
Lundstrom isn't a curveball though, Jim, is he?
For me, for the midfield, is along with it's always I'm with Ox here. For me, it's going to always be Stephen Davis with Kamara and Aribo.
But Lundstrom's played the last 5 games, as you know.
He never started in Europe.
Europe.
Europe's a different thing. I'm talking about in the league, but he's started in the last 5.
All right, I
he's
think
had that.
Somebody come to join us to maybe give us a report or an update or Crime Watch. I'm not sure. We've been joined by my mucker, Southside.
Hi, good evening, Ox. Evening, troops. How are you?
Hi, Southside. What's this Crime Watch thing?
What brother are you? Are you
right?
Grant?
No, we're the SAS, big man. That's been established.
Yeah.
Aye, Southside and Stevie. Yep. Southside and Stevie.
Southside and Stevie. Well done, pal.
Big joke back, Elise there, eh?
Big man's not been seen since yesterday. I believe there was an incident.
Oh, aye. Was that during it or was that after it? Do you mean?
I would say both, but the one I'm referring to is the one after it.
Well, I believe we got our photos took, right? And I had a check on the gallery and we never made it on the gallery, so that's good.
Every other photograph it was took was on the gallery, bar that one.
I know, it was brilliant. And then on the way out, we seen this sort of thing. It looked like a keg barrel, right? But it wasn't obviously that shape. just with the Rangers crest and that on it. And I says to Big Stevie as we're walking down the concourse, I says, look, that looks quite good, doesn't it? I says, it's like one of your drums. So we proceeded to go down, but the wee steward had obviously heard us, and he was sort of standing and just at his post at the exit. But we're walking down to the end exit. So like we go down and we pick it up, and Stevie's like, I said, that looks quite good, doesn't it? So we turns left to go out the door. Obviously the doors are shut, right? We could have opened them, but we know the wee steward's clocked us. So he's done a beeline for his post, ran down the back of the concourse outside because he thinks we're coming out the exit. But we decided to put it back down, and we walked back up towards the exit, and he's come running back up all out of breath and all that, and we've just burst out laughing at him, you know. So that was that report. But
he's only very good SAS troopers, are you?
Here, Big Al, we could have took it, right? We could have took it, but we just thought, no, the wee guy was out of breath and everyone came running back up, you know.
Was one he's a medic?
The wee guy was out of breath, took his inhaler, then collared the two of them.
We were thinking you can't take the drum off Big Stevie for the drum. No, that was what we were thinking at the time, but. No.
Where were he on the Ibrox tour?
No, we went on the training day, Big Al.
The
had it on.
Right.
Aye, we've been done.
Were he's on the pitch? Were he's in your kits?
No. We were at the back, big man, out the road, you know. Just it was freezing, so we got a wee bit in the corner in the back of the Sandy Jardine stand. We were in there. But it was a good day. It was good to see the players up. Gary McAllister spoke and said obviously it was just a wee bit of ball work and stuff, nothing strenuous because they've all come back for international duty. But it was good to see them doing wee drills.
What pace with the drills we've done it, mate? Was it pretty? Would you say that was at high tempo? Everything done at high tempo?
They built it up slowly.
Right.
They done wee passing drills and stuff, and then they had wee markers in the middle with bibs on it, and the players had to sort of sprint in, try and grab the bib and stuff as they built it up. They were doing wee sequence passing stuff and that, and then obviously doing sequence passing in the middle to the wing. Tav deliveries were good. I must admit, every delivery he put in was bang on. You had Sakala, Defoe, Hadji, Alfie. They were all up the front looking to get the ball in the net. So done these sort of drills, and then they played a game, just two halves, just on both sides. Lasted probably about 20 minutes. So that was more sort of up to pace a wee bit at that point, you know.
Aye. But do you think the kids, more for the kids, do you think the kids that were running about you, do you think they went there and enjoyed it, mate? Because that's what it was for, huh?
Aye, definitely. I mean, in the concourse, they had stuff set up for the kids and that. They had a MyJers thing up and there'd be sort of cardboard cut-out trophies and stuff where the kids could go and get their photos took with the parents and stuff. They had other, they were giving out the gifts of the MyJers stuff. And they had face painting and stuff like that and that. So, aye, there was stuff there for the kids, and obviously to get them down and at the stadium and see the players. I think a lot of them definitely enjoyed it, mate. It was obviously a good experience. It was good to actually see the first team out training, you know, although it wasn't probably normal training, you know, like we would have, but coming back for international duty and just getting to see that for the day, it was good, and it was definitely a family thing for you to take your kids along to.
One of the suggestions that was made to me, big man, is maybe slightly earlier in the year, so that it's maybe nose cold for the Waynes sitting there watching it. But do you think that'd be fair?
Aye, you'd probably like to have you could maybe see it maybe around about August time, or maybe if obviously things with COVID and stuff. But aye, maybe even you could have done a day like that maybe towards the end of July, because normally we might have a wee obviously have a wee pre-season game or something like that. So you could probably have had it a day or two before that possibly, and had it 100%, because it was chilly that day. Believe me, it was freezing. But it was quite a good turnout. They got it. And it was good, obviously, to hear the manager speaking. Gary McAllister spoke. Ian Durant was there as a guest. He spoke as well. So, aye, it was a good day, mate. And it was well planned and well thought about, well thought out, you know. So, aye, it was well done, Rangers, for putting it on.
And obviously the shop would have been busy with the white top appearing on the same day as we have a... Yeah.
Aye, mate, the shop was quite busy. We went and had a look round, seen the strip and that. It does look quite nice. But I think it was busy probably after it when it was finished. But we were up there probably about 11:15. So there was a few in the shop, mate, and that, but I think it was a lot busier after it.
Was there any food inside the stadium for the kids to get a bite to eat and that?
Aye, mate, you can. Aye, the food was on, Higme. You could get food in there, and also Castore had a van down at the bottom of the King's Highway, as they call it, on the way up. There was a van with stuff down there as well you could purchase.
Oh, right,
so
okay. Castore had a Parker van?
No, they had just a shop you could buy clothes and that and gifts.
All right.
Just like just a van, just with selling gifts.
Pop-up,
pop-up van, aye.
The boys were struggling, they needed to underrate Parker.
No, but that was there as well for people that was down there looking at their stuff and maybe buying some stuff.
Right, okay. So that was more Castore stuff than Rangers stuff, eh?
I didn't get in, mate. I just seen the Castore van and the sign, so it could have been some Rangers stuff in there as well, I'm not sure.
I think the last that van was seen, it was going towards Drumchapel. Anyway, it seems like a good day, GFK.
Aye, it's a pity it wasn't open to all right enough, wasn't it? It wasn't open to everybody. They've been a good day out. But I'd been to a couple before with my boys when they were younger, and as Southside said, it'd probably been better in a decent weather. The last time we went, it was actually pre-season, and it was nice and warm, and it was good. I think it was about 10 or 11,000 out of that day. So it's a different way to when you go to Ironworks to see the team going through their drills and things like that, and especially for the kids, because we've got to remember a lot of kids don't get to go and see Rangers every week, and it's a good thing to bring them to Ibrox on that day, and that's how I was hoping that Rangers would open it up for all, and just make it a free for all, everybody in, because there's a lot of kids I know who are no Rangers, would you call it, my Gers members, who would have liked to have went to that. And unfortunately, they weren't afforded that privilege. So, and I'll call it a privilege because I'm a wee bit thinking about the My Gers. I think it's an elitist thing, but I'll not go into that at this moment. So I'd like to see Rangers open up a wee bit more. Instead of having so many points to get this and so many points to get that. But it is a good day out, especially for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Well, I don't want to get into debate about My Gers, but that was the feedback for the fans. They wanted a membership scheme, and they've done it. That's the problem. When you ask questions, you get answers. That was the feedback.
Yeah, I can see that. I've been talking to a couple of guys there who are looking for trying to get tickets for Bromby, and probably the right man's come on there. Southside, who's a far travelled man, the way we used to be, Oxford. Mm-hmm. But he said he needs something like 1,900 points to get to be eligible for a Bromby ticket. Is that the way it works, Southside?
Gold. I think it's a gold.
Gold.
They points amount to being a gold member, and he needs that amount to get a Bromby ticket.
I don't think it's as much as 1,900, Jimmy. Gold goes down to I think about 1,610. I think it was. Round about that figure. I think that was sort of where they sort of cut off. Then you hit your silver. So, I mean, I don't really want to go into too much about My Gers because at the end of the day, like you said, it's a scheme and it got voted in or people wanted it. Do I think it's a good thing at the moment? No, but I can see why it's done. But I'm only in it because I was asked. I was forced to win it because if you're in the travel club, then they put you into My Gers. So that's the only reason. And if you probably asked everybody that's in the travel club, honestly, if we would want to bin My Gers or you wanted to stay in the travel club, the way they had it, we are 8 points, we'd all say we'd rather be in the travel club.
I think that's a fair comment. We're being honest there when we say that. I think you're right when you say that. But I'll go back to my original point. When they asked the fans what they wanted, and I'm not talking about people in a travel club or people purchasing stuff. What would they like? They wanted a membership scheme, what they've got in the majority of teams in the Premiership in England, and they've done it. Whether better or worse, or there's pluses and minuses, they've done.
But you don't need to be a season ticket holder to be a MyJers, right?
No.
So there was people sitting at Ibrox at their training day who aren't the season ticket holders, but they're MyJers members, right?
But
and they get into the training day.
Your season ticket does exactly what it says in the tin.
No, I know that.
You
But why not say to season ticket holders, you can come into the training day for a tenner or a fiver? I'm not talking about getting in for free. Charge a nominal fee of £5 for season ticket holders if you want to come in. I know many season ticket holders who have got kids who didn't get to the training day because they're not in the MyJers. That's my argument there. I just think what you're saying is correct. Is that yes, the fans were asked to vote on it.
No, they never voted on it.
Whatever, they were asked. They were okay, surveyed, right? They were surveyed, right? So, right, but for me, I don't see you've got to keep buying and buying and buying to get points to get certain things. And what Southside's saying there is correct. The only reason he went in it, and a couple of my pals, the only reason they went in it is because they wanted to go and see Rangers away from home. And I don't have an argument with that.
Jimmy.
He's got about 4,000 points. He's like a walking model for Castilla.
Jimmy, the only thing is, right, see, to be honest, in fairness, right, it was only an extra £20 for me to join MyJers because the travel club was £20, right? But it's funny, right, because we're getting 1,400 tickets for Bromby, and I've got one, but I can't get one for St Mirren. I've not got one for St Mirren, do you know what I mean? That's how mad that is, do you know what I mean? Sometimes when you just look at it, it's madness.
Right, but what's going to, sorry to interrupt, so what's going to happen is for the, not that it bothers me, because I'll never go back to Ham Dump after the Hibs game, right, the Spoon Burners game, that was me done that day to Stone all day, and then obviously we lost the cup. But how many season ticket holders do we think might get a ticket for the semi-final and hopefully the final? We don't know, because a lot of people sign up to MyJers. And I know there's the CCS thing, and I was in that as well at one time. But I just think the MyJers, there's people saying, I've got to keep buying this and I've got to keep buying that to build up my points. I'm a silver now and I want to get to gold because I need tickets for this, need tickets.
Yeah, but they'll be season ticket holders. They people it's going into silver and gold, mate.
Not necessarily.
You need to spend something.
We'll see the thing about that,
you get
Jimmy.
Points for going to the games, GFK, and you get points for your ticket being used. You get points for continuous credit, and you get points for taking European tickets.
I'm the same as a MyJers person who pays her £500 a season for a season ticket, and I turn up, and the guy sitting next to me is in MyJers, so he gets points because he's in MyJers for going to the game, but I get hee-haw.
You're not in MyJers. You chose not to be in MyJers.
I think that's wrong. That's just my opinion. I think that's wrong.
They could have been really naughty and just.
Can I just interject here?
The £100. Go now.
I thought Rangers was a club for all. Seems to be a bit of a divide and a bit of a split here.
Aye, well, it's listen. It's not. Nothing's ever perfect. I mean, if you're on the season ticket waiting list and you're desperate to go to the games, it's nothing's ideal for you, is it?
No, I know. I know what you're saying, but I thought the club was inclusive. See, on the training day thing, training days should be held throughout the season, open full training sessions, like the day in Italy and Germany and that, and it costs you nothing. All that, what it does is it generates interest.
It was free yesterday.
But I'm talking about free for everybody. 3 or 4 times through the season, that creates an interest. Italian clubs do it. You see Juventus at the beginning of the season up in their training ground, 40,000 people there mingling with the players and that, and there's in proper training sessions. It doesn't cost nothing. I think you would reap the benefit. Obviously, you've got the shop there, so you've got 50,000 people coming to an home training session. They're going into the shop. They're buying food. It just makes everybody happy.
It's no different if you're going to have to ride at Disneyland, mate. People are going to buy stuff, aren't they?
Aye, that's what I'm saying. So I think sometimes that there is a bit of a chasm in a division, and I'm quite sympathetic with Jimmy, and also I can see where Southside's coming. He's an avid follower of Rangers. He's want to make sure he gets the tickets. I can see Jimmy's point of view as well. Why should he miss out when somebody else could be buy that season ticket? To me, I think if you buy a season ticket, you should take precedent before anybody else.
But you are if you're a season ticket holder and you sign up for the tickets and you take all the tickets that come your way. But to do that, you're part of my chairs.
But that's wrong.
That's wrong. You shouldn't.
In your opinion.
Aye.
In your opinion.
I don't think.
There should be away tickets. That should be away tickets.
Yeah.
What's that?
That should be away tickets.
Away tickets, semi-final tickets.
My Jers gives you away tickets. I'm a member of my Jers. I don't want anything to do with tickets.
See the thing is, but see if you just take my Jers away for us for a second, right? Just before I go, right? When we went down the leagues, right? We used to get your season book in. You were on a continuous credit, right?
Yep.
Now, when I first signed for continuous credit, everybody that went to watch Rangers could sign on to continuous credit. And all it was you'll go to friendlies at Ibrox, you'll go to the cup games at Ibrox, and you'll sign up for away tickets. That's it, right?
Yep.
And the Rangers used to send you in an email and they tell you what games you were getting, because then you did an allocation that was better. Sort of why it's harder for Rangers now, because everybody cuts their allocation. You don't know what you're getting from time to time. I understand that. But everybody that followed Rangers had a chance to join it, right? Now, see, when I joined it, and I put my boy on it, and we went down everywhere to watch Rangers, there was only 3,000 of us that were on the continuous credit scheme at that time. 3,000, because when we got to play Raith Rovers in the first cup final, in that stupid cup that they beat us in, I got a ticket for Easter Road because I was on the continuous credit scheme, because I went to Arbroath on a Tuesday night at Ibrox, not when maybe other people didn't want to. So that's my point for that. And then it grew and it grew. Then the European thing's totally different. You go to Europe, you get your points. So that's a different issue for the continuous credit scheme, right? So how many trips you go on is what you got your points based on. So that's a separate issue for what I'm talking about. But it still ties in now that now when they brought in my Jers, that's how to get everybody into it. They said, well, get your tickets and then we can tell you what games you went to. So everybody knew it's when the continuous credit scheme was up to nearly 20,000 at that point, and now it's up to 30,000, I think. So
before you go, Southside, I've got a question for you, and I'll take the same question to Jimmy as well, because it's good to get balance. If we get to the League Cup final, it'll be pretty much the same people will always be at the games, pretty much, because it always is, isn't it?
Aye. I've been lucky, right? Every single semi-final and final, I've always had it. I've got the ticket. Now, that's before my Jers came in. It's just through your season book. And I was on the continuous credit scheme.
I don't doubt you'll also be at the New St Mirren Stadium next Sunday.
Aye, well, I'm hoping I will be, aye. But
I don't doubt it.
But then Rangers don't know that I've made that game if I get a ticket. So if I'd got a ticket through Rangers, I get points on my Jers. But if I make that game through being lucky enough to get a ticket, and I don't get points for going there, right? So this is another thing, because sometimes people might end up getting a ticket like that because somebody might not manage to make the game and you might be lucky to get it for somebody else. But that will always happen. So there's no difference there for me. But some of my pals who were in the same boat were lucky enough to get every semi-final and final. Well, two of my pals last time missed the final, never got one. So that's just obviously unfortunate. But he's been everywhere and always got them, because he was part of the 3,000 that signed up originally to go and watch Rangers home and away, but especially at home when the cup ties came round, because Ibrox was never full. So my point to that is I know there's going to be a fair balance and people need to get a ticket for away games. But for me, I try my best to get one for every away game, because I usually do, but I don't want to miss it. I really don't, because I followed Rangers everywhere, so that's what I do. So I know I can understand what Jimmy says and all. Jimmy, my Jers, I don't get any benefit out of it, to be honest. I've no had points going to the restaurant. I've not had any
No,
benefits I get in anything on it.
Southside, I'm in your
That's,
side.
you know,
I'm in the same camp as you, Southside. I totally agree with you, but what I'm saying is, it might be sound petty to some people, but why not open up the training day to everybody? And it's not about the money. I know the MyGers got it for nothing, but I would have liked to have went to it. I'd have paid a tenner to go and see it. I'm a season ticket holder.
They've just gave it as a gimmick, Jimmy, probably just to MyGers fans, because it's something that I mean, all right, we've paid the 40 quid. It's something they could have just have gave exclusive members to. Like you say, everybody's got their own choice to sign up to it or no.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
30,000 done it now, isn't there?
Aye, there is. Aye, so
I remember when I was taking my two boys. We were in the Brimloan stand, which is a family section, and I remember Rangers done a great thing, and it was only the family section that were allowed to go to, but they called it a junior AGM, and the whole board was there. They built a platform in the main stand at the director's box, and there was about 2,000 days there, and it was absolutely fantastic. And that's because we were in the family section, but that was different in that stage because it was all kids that was there, right? But now what they're telling you is that there's people who want to go to the train. I'm looking on Facebook the last week here, and there's people saying, I'm not a MyGers member. Anybody get any spare QR codes to get into the game and into the training day and all that? And you know, it's ridiculous that you can't go and see the team that you love, especially kids. I just think that if you turn around to Wayne and say, you can't go today, how no? Because you're not a MyGers. Why am I not a MyGers? No. To me, I just think that Rangers are creative.
Is there no a simple answer?
Were you going to say join MyGers?
Aye.
No, not for me. I think it's a rip-off.
If we claim we all love this club...
No, you can't keep throwing money...
Wait a minute. If we claim we all love this club, and the club tried to do something that the supporters wanted, and they didn't put the season tickets up, and they kept it doing what they could have done, and they just added it all into our season tickets. They could have put the season tickets up for £100, say, and it's take it or leave it. Yeah? They've done something that's tried to encourage new supporters.
Oxshire, we could be on here to midnight. I've got a lot of gripes about it. It's a great debate. I would stone up arguments with many, and I had a stone up argument with a guy in the Loudon a few weeks ago. You know, he keeps bumping his gums about the Rangers players took a pay cut. Rangers players didn't take a pay cut. Rangers players took a deferral in their wages. We still all paid for our full season tickets, watched the games in the telly, right, through a stream that sometimes didn't work. Right, they're charging you for MyGers. You've got to buy this and that and this and that to get points to go up to a silver or gold. To me, it's a money-making machine, Rangers are now. You know, and I think that's quite embarrassing at times. You know, and it's all right saying that for the love of Gers, get rid of all this Rangers till I die crap. I don't buy into that. Right? You've got to be look at it at a better view than that. Don't just keep throwing money at Rangers because you're a Rangers supporter. Go and buy something.
You don't have to buy all it. I get Castor emails, Rangers emails, inundated with them every day. I don't buy into it.
I almost said you need to buy it, but what they're doing is it's a money making machine at the moment. You know what I mean? And it's not about me being mean. I just think that that's the way it is now. You know, I'm still quite ticked off that Rangers never gave me.
Can I ask you a question, Jimmy?
Yes, pal.
See how you're saying it's a money-making machine? Would you be a lot more happier if we had 2 or 3 marquee signings at 5 million, 5, 6 million, 7 million a pop on the park? I would be.
Aye. But you just can't keep asking fans to come in and spend money all the time that you're not seeing. I certainly don't see the benefit, and the fact is that you have to be a MyGers to get a benefit of going to different things. When
MyGers must have put in what I don't know if Jordan will come to Jordan there. MyGers must have put in say 1.5, 2 million. I'm just putting a figure out there. I've not done the arithmetic. So that's £2 million we need to find for somewhere else. Yeah, So if you do the maths and say there's 50,000 season tickets, that means they've got to go up by 40 quid. Yeah, to pull in that 2 million quid. That's what it tells you. You've got a scheme there that helps develop new supporters. Supporters from all over the world who have no choice if they want to put something into the club, because that's what the supporters ask for. People who couldn't go or get season tickets and couldn't get to the games wanted a scheme that they could continue to support the club. And the club have done it. Jordan.
Aye. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. My pal the other day was there, and he's excuse me, he's a member of it, and he pays about 40 quid a year, I think it is. But I'm not a guy to ask for it, to be honest, boys. I don't know the kind of inside and outs of it. I thought I would see advertising on Rangers TV and all that, but I've never really actually thought about it, to be honest. I've not read up on about it, so I'm kind of wrong right to ask, to be honest, about it.
Well, hang on, and Fox will sign you up. I understand economics, JFK. Certain people have got spare cash, certain people haven't. That's never changed with the fact that people can afford to go to the game and somebody can't.
It's not just about who can afford it and who can't afford it, Oxyar. What I'm saying is that everything at this moment in time seems to be that everything's going into Rangers. It's all right saying that Rangers till I die and all this, I'll give Rangers everything. But what I'm saying here is that Rangers have created, for me, this big thing here. They want to charge everybody money to become a My Gears member. But the season ticket holder becomes secondary. Right? I know you say that the season ticket, it says where it's on the tin. But we, as a season ticket holder who's no in My Gears, I've been left to the side. Right, and the only option I've got is, well, join My Gears. I don't want to join My Gears because I think My Gears is a con. That is my interpretation. Nobody else's. And I still say that Rangers missed a trick. They could have probably put another 5,000 or 10,000 on that, even if it was in a cold day, and they could have brought them in and charged season ticket holders another £5. A £5 to go and see Rangers train. I'd have been there. My 2 boys would have been there. I know many others that would have been there. That's my point. And if they want to keep My Gears going, fine. But don't dismiss the season ticket holders. I think that's what Rangers are doing.
I'm not dismissing that. I'm saying you know how long season tickets, and I'm talking about, have been in my household. It's since 1974, mate. Yeah. So it's no. I don't take season ticket holders lightly. When people didn't have them, they were in my house. So I understand fully about what the loyalty and the sacrifices people make to have season tickets. But the fans, I'll go back to my point, the fans ask for a scheme so that people can move and get joined like the English clubs have got, because it's an English model, this membership thing. It came from all their clubs. They've all got it. Liverpool's, Man United, Tottenham's, Arsenal, they've all got it. And they went, we want this membership scheme like that, or worse to that effect, JFK, where you get something as a member. Because what they do down there is that's the ones that get next offer for the tickets, generally for the PL.
Yeah,
games,
I don't have a problem with that per se, but what I'm saying is that in joining the My Gears or any other scheme, the season ticket holder becomes secondary then. You're just a season ticket holder. But you're not a season ticket holder with My Gears. Whether you're given the option to become a My Gears, look, not everybody wants to be a My Gears. And I know hundreds of people who don't want to become, because they feel the same as me. Right? We shouldn't be told that because you're not a My Gears, that there's a good chance you'll not get a ticket for this, and you can't get into this, and you can't go here. That's wrong.
You'd have never got a ticket unless you were in the CCS anyway, would you?
Well, I was like yourself in Southside in years gone by. I was always in the CCS, right? So that was my choice because I wanted to go to the away games here and in Europe, right? But what I'm saying here in the travel club now, but what I'm saying is, I think just going back to the training day, Rangers missed a trick by contacting season ticket holders and saying to them, look, My Gears have paid their fee up front, and we're going to allow them in free. That's okay, I've not got a problem with that. If you want to go, it's going to cost you a £5. Right? I'd have paid that.
How no let the season ticket holders in free and get the numbers and then try and encourage them to join My Jazz?
I wouldn't encourage me to join My Jazz.
No,
I just think but I know what you're saying. I can understand what you're saying. But there's many season ticket holders who would have liked to went to that yesterday, and they never get the chance. And I think that's wrong. That's just my opinion. And
Jimmy.
On you go, pal.
Just to say, you're talking.
Maybe they're doing some.
You were saying there you're talking about possibly asking Rangers to let you in for £5, and any season ticket holder in for £5.
Yeah.
You start taking money in, are we no duty bound to supply stewarding and
There been stewards there. There was stewards there yesterday.
No,
The two of them were chasing you outside.
Yeah. But I'm saying there might have been a minimal amount of stewards.
That'd been all right. That's a question. And somebody said that to me the other day. So what Rangers should maybe have done, say, right, in order for stewarding, we'll limit the first 10,000 season ticket holders a first come, first served. Because we need to limit the crowd.
What about the official? What about the postman involved in this?
That's what I'm saying. If they were told that if you have any more than 15,000, we need to do this. Well, Rangers would need to charge you accordingly, Bridgeman. Whether it be a £5 or a £7.50.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. But give every fan a chance to come and see there.
But is that no the thing they're trying to do with My Jazz, Jimmy? They're trying to give fans who haven't got any involvement at the start, if you like, guys that are just starting.
Aye, maybe so, mate. Aye, maybe so. You're probably right there. It's just my thinking on it.
This debate with Southside as well. Everybody's going to go to their first game at some time. It might be when you're 3-year-old, or it might be when you're 30 because of life. You don't know. Everybody's going to their first game, their first away game. Everybody.
Of course, aye.
It's everybody. But look, good debate, and I think there's a learning curve always in anything you do, any membership scheme, and if they can improve it, I'm sure they'll be up for ideas and speaking to people, and if we can get more kids along to see their training session with their parents and get a love for Rangers, I'm all for it. Bridgeman?
Yeah, 100%. My only fear in it is that we end up maybe getting a wee bit too much, and we need, based on the rules and regulations at a council level, we might demand you can't have more than 5,000. I'm just using that loosely.
But you would have, of course, you'd look at the rules. You couldn't have an open house, could you?
That's what I'm meaning,
You couldn't have an open house.
If you've got a lot of season ticket holders, similar to what Jimmy, they might be thinking, well, I'd love that. To go over there, I'd give them a £5, no problem at all, let me in. Then you need to think big. What's going to happen, and what are the limitations. And
we had 50,000 at the night training day in '97, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
50,000 turned up to watch it.
Ox, I'm going to jump right, but all I'll say is, see, on the positive thing about My Jazz, right, as I said, the only negative thing is sort of ticket allocations, but we've always said that anyway throughout the years, so it will continue. But the good thing about My Jazz is the money that we've donated into it goes, they're saying they're using it for the first team for signings, so that 2 million or whatever it is that we joined up to join My Jazz, if it's going into the first team to try and get as a player, whatever, then that's positive, Either or, you'll get the odd benefits. Like anything, Jimmy, when you join a club, sometimes you get the extra benefits on wee things here and there. And if you know, sometimes you've got to stand outside to get in later on.
I agree with that. I understand that.
And another thing as well, Jimmy, see, we're season ticket holders and it's like anything, we rent our seats every season, although we say they're our seats, but we rent them every year after Rangers. Season thing, that thing you're talking about, open training day, I can see a point to it, but I just think it was a wee gimmick for My Jazz supporters to go and see the team, and I think that was just like a wee perk for joining and stuff like that, and try to get younger fans in to maybe see the players. So on that note, guys, I'm going to go, and we'll join the discussion meetings, all right?
All right, catch you later, mate.
Right, big Al, catch you later as well. Reg, see you all later. Jimmy, right, good night.
Buddy, see you later.
I believe that Big Stevie's just need My Jazz card took off him.
Oh my God. Don't say that. I got upset.
First one to get thrown out it.
So see what Southside said there, like the £2 million that was generated for the MyJers thing. That's obviously just went to aye. Well, that's obviously just went to wages because, as the manager said, we've not spent a penny on signing. So,
well, we spent £2 million. And obviously we brought Lundstrom in. He'll be on big money for us where we are in Scotland.
That's what I'm saying. It's gone on the wages, isn't it?
That's
see, look, everything needs to talk about. Look, Rangers are it's an entertainment business. It's sport, but it's an entertainment business. They should be going down every avenue they can to generate funds for the club, but also there has to be value for money. If the MyJers thing's working or it's not working, as long as the guys that are in the MyJers are feel as if they get the value for money, that's good.
Well,
the guys that buy the season tickets, I do think they should take precedent because they're there, and see like yourselves or Southside that are there in their home and away in Europe. You guys should be getting tickets, no questions asked. There should be a way for them to generate the points.
But so everybody's had to go to their first game.
Yeah, I understand that.
If it was a closed shop,
the days gone.
If it was a closed shop,
the days gone now run about the stadium when there's a guy walking with 5 tickets in his hand. They gone.
Aye. No, it still happens, mate. Still happens, mate. If no for certain games, but it still happens. If it was only Bridgeman and JFK and the lights that got a ticket for, say, the cup final, where was your next breed of supporters come from? Where's your next level? Well, we had to go to our first cup final. Things were a bit different when the stadiums were bigger, but it's a real puzzle because supply and demand, mate. More people want to go than you've got tickets.
Of course. I mean, we cannot. Everybody sitting here and who can go back to before Graham Souness came and David Holmes brought Graham Souness.
You'd get him away, mate, couldn't you?
No, I mean, I was talking there about 5 tickets. I remember before Souness and that came, and I going to Easter Road. I mean, I was a secretary of the club, and I was storing me 10, 15 tickets because people just didn't want to go. They'd rather.
Heels you were wearing.
I know. They'd rather stone in
the approach you.
No, they'd rather stone in the pub and get a swallow than go out on a cold Wednesday night Easter Road. But as soon as Graham Souness came and David Holmes made the club that it was at that time, I mean, Oxshire will tell you, I mean, he knows and I know guys here that they wouldn't even think twice about going to see Rangers at that time. And as soon as that happened, the Souness era, they became the greatest Rangers supporters in the world. Oxshire's right. That's supply and demand, and was the demand.
Did they know do that as well, mate? Did they know do a similar thing when with David Holmes and the second season when they started the Premier Club, and then the Premier Club grew? They were only going to have the Premier Club, the Govan Standard season tickets, and it grew in the whole stadium. They didn't realise the demand was going to be so high.
Of course.
And the whole stadium became season tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and at that time you were getting the European tie and you were getting Scottish Cup ties and you were getting League Cup ties included in the price of your season ticket. And I'm like yourself.
I think I would just got to say, Jim, I think whatever Rangers do and however they wrap it up, the customer, the fan, has to feel that they're getting value for money. As long as that's happening, everybody's got a smile.
I'll just say this before you go. I've just been sent a message from a very wise guy who lives about approximately 360 miles for the stadium. He's a MyJers member, and his daughter's a MyJers member. And I'll not tell you his name, but it was his birthday yesterday, right? He's joined MyJers. He likes a bit of the merchandise, and because he's used his MyJers, he's saved more than his membership getting the merchandise off the shop because he gets a discount. So it's not a bad scheme, really, is it? For him.
That's what I mean. As long as 100%. I agree with that, and that aspect's 100%. But it works for some, no for all. And that's what I'm saying. I mean,
for me, in my house, with the memberships we've got here, but I mean, you'll not get me buying a strip, but the other two will want strips, so that's up to them, no. You know what I mean? But generations are different. Look, great debate. We'll turn my head quickly the last few minutes. What's the score going to be tomorrow? Right, Bridgeman, I've got you doing for a 4-0.
Aye, no. I'll go for a 1-0.
1-0. You wouldn't want to be in any club, but he's in, mate. The football would be terrible. But Gal,
1-0 will do me fine.
Jordan's went for 2-0. You happy with 2-0?
One from the first goal and Alfie.
Right, and Jordan, you also went for 2-0. Oh.
Aye, I went for 2-0.
Aye. And JFK, you went for 2-0.
I'm going for 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 for me as well, mate. 2 for Alfie.
It'll
be a hard game. We need to get into third and fourth gear. As I said before, I think Hearts have reached their peak.
A pound wins you £1.60, Jimmy.
Get to a gambling, man. Don't know what you're talking about.
Pound wins you £6.50. A pound wins you £6.50. Yeah.
There you go.
Give me £6. I'll put it on for you, and then when we win 2-0, I'll get you a membership for my cheers.
Okay, mate. Send it to you now.
Don't do it, Jimmy. Don't do it.
Oh dear. No, but I do take your point on board with the season tickets. I think you maybe got a point there. I mean, I think the vast majority of people in my chairs will be season ticket holders, mate, for tickets. I honestly do. Yeah. We've not had that.
I use, just to let you know, I use my shares as a way of putting some more money into Rangers.
Aye,
I have some minimal amount. It's the least I can do. Somebody said it's 40 quid, I'll play 40 quid. No problem. Not a problem at all. That's what Rangers.
But to be fair, mate, when you're just moving about from Swiss to Isle of Man, you know, just... He's laughing. He's laughing, but it's true. I've been with him to the bank.
Oh, shocker. I'll tell you.
I've been to him with the bank. It's an experience. Right, okay, 2-0, 2-0. Bridge 1-0. Big Al. I can't believe he's in with it. Right, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say that we're going to win 4 tomorrow.
4?
What?
Yes, we're going to hit a bit of form tomorrow.
There you go, pal. I hope you're right.
Take the bet, Jimmy. Take the bet now.
We're going to hit a bit of form tomorrow, and we're going to send a message out. If I'm right, it'll be the first time ever.
Right, mate.
Over to you, JFK.
Well, it was good to get back in here again, guys, and have a good chat. Because I really enjoyed it. Good debate near the end there. Everybody's got their own opinion, and it's good that everybody respects everybody's opinion, and that's what it's all about. So, looking forward. I'm not going to the game tomorrow. I'm feeling a bit sore tonight. So,
you failed the fitness test.
Failed the fitness test. So, my 2 boys will be in there tomorrow, Mark and Graham. So, they'll be at the game tomorrow. I'll just pay my 10 quid. I'm going to just watch it on the Rangers TV, which you can now watch tomorrow in Scotland, which I'm glad to say. So there's my wee contribution to Rangers tomorrow, Bridgeman, my wee 10 quid. So thanks very much, guys.
I think it's $7.50 for my Cheers members.
I love it.
Sorry, Jimmy. Jordan, thanks, mate. Thanks for taking part, mate.
No worries.
Cheers, mate. Always good to speak to you. Bridgeman, over to you.
Oh, what can I say? A great night once again. Another great night here, also. And thanks very much to you, Jimmy, for being my assistant, or me being your assistant, whichever the case may be. But it was marvellous. What a great night, great discussions. I'm sure everybody enjoyed it thoroughly. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, massive game tomorrow. Probably the biggest 3 points of the season so far. We need them. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. And so they do. Keep it going.
Thanks for listening. Rangers Radio's a rabbit hole. You don't know where you're going to end up. I didn't know we'd be having a debate on my Cheers. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Jordan for joining us. Of course, Southside, Big Alfie Australia, and of course the one and only JFK and Bridgeman. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. We'll be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon with a pre-match show when we actually see the team that Stevie G's putting out. Stay safe If you're going to the game tomorrow, enjoy it. Speak to you soon. Take it away. Old School Blue.